Okay, we were screening yesterday. Big pile of sand for the golf club, ready for the season. Big pile of root zone. If they need any in the summer, they've got it. If they don't, it's there for next winter. All did that with the Lloyd screener bucket. See the gaps in the stars there? They spin inwards, flick the material around, and you can see over by the dog there, bricks or anything like that it takes out, throw to one side. So we had a good day screening yesterday. Sorry I've not made any videos for a while, been busy and the weather's not been great, so I've been up against it a bit. Anyway, I'll get some video over the next couple of days. Next job now is tree shears going on next, and I'll get some footage of that, snipping some little trees down in an area that we're going to tidy up. Alright, I'm getting out of the rain. Okay, first job. This bucket, the screener bucket, into the dumper. Excuse the beeping noise, the hitch. So we are finished in here now, so I'm not coming back in here with the digger, so I need everything out of the way. It's not needed now because the little tractors I don't think will come in and pick these things up, so I need to get them out before I leave with the digger. So we're going to get these. Good job we did the screening when we did, because as you can see the rain is back and it's very wet, so we got all the material screened before the rain started, where we did that yesterday, which was excellent. Just going to very gently, I know you can't see, but very gently put this down in the dumper and then try and get that bucket in as well, which might be a bit of a squeeze, but I'm sure we'll manage somehow. Alright, that's in, beautiful. Grading bucket in at the front of it. And we'll take these with us because I will need to move some trees later in the day, throw them in the dumper. But until then, we are just snipping, snip, snip, snip. So let's see, get this in gently. I can't see very well because on these wet days, when I've got the dog with me, he doesn't have steam the cab up. It's a pain, to be honest, but you can't help it. Right, show you quickly. Big pile of sand there. Big pile of root zone. We have managed to, oh you can barely see, sorry, squeeze them two buckets in the dumper. Right, I'm going to get the tree shear on and we'll be back. You don't need to watch me battling to pick that up because it's at a right awkward angle. Right, we've got the shear on eventually. What should have been a 5-minute job, if that, it's taken 20 minutes. I don't know why, but with the shear on, that coupling there is almost impossible to plug in. The other side's okay, but that one, I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or whether the shear keeps pressuring it, but I don't think it's that, because I actually took the fitting off the end of that pipe and still couldn't plug it in. Well, there's no resistance there if you're taking the fitting off the end of the pipe. Anyway, so she's plugged in. There's a valve up here. You can see that valve there with the handle. You turn that 90 degrees to swap from hammer line to two-way, so it's on two-way now for the shear. What I've done for running stuff like that is my hammer lines, which come down to here, they're plumbed into the EC oil for the tilt rotator, so you can't plug in. So what I've done is put some T's at the back of the steel pipe, run some flexi hoses down to there, so I can plug in the tree shear, the screener bucket and the flail mower if I want to run them with the tilt rotator off. Anyway, a bit more about that later because I did make a bit of a mistake. Right, let's go and cut some trees down. Just show you here quickly, it's a handy thing. You can use the tree shear as a a bit of a grab, so you can rehandle stuff. I'm just loading it into the dumper right now. Rehandle it, throw it into a fire, or I suppose if you wanted to, you could rehandle it and cut it and make logs or whatever you wanted to do. So that's cool. And if you can see on the bottom there, you can unbolt the blade and you can take the blade off if you knew you're going to need a grab for a week, just for moving something or whatever. You can take the blade off and use it as a log grab like that. Obviously the blade gets in the way as it is, but I just grab stuff so that I know the blade isn't going to be touching it, or if it is, it's only very lightly, like, simply show you, like that. I can close it up, grab that branch, and the blade's not interfering, because you don't want to bend the blade, obviously that wouldn't be good. But yeah, just for rehandling stuff that's light like this, I do it with leave the blade on, and if I wanted to grab for a week, I would, I think there's, show you there again, 6 bolts, blade off, and you've got a grab, so that's handy as well. Especially when it's in the Engcon, that'd be better, but we'll have a look at that later in the video. I'll show you what the crack is with that. Just taking the Engcon up to the digger with the little tractor. I'd taken this off, got left in the yard, and there's a bit of distance on these golf jobs, so I want to try and get the tree shear mounted under it this morning. I've got my fittings, they've arrived. So I'm going to ferry this up, drop it into the machine, shoot back, get my car, some tools, got the fittings, and see if we can pipe her up and get it working underneath this. So we'll have a look when we get to that stage. Alright, managed to get the tilt rotator coupled up with the tree shear, look, she's on. Plugged in on the side so it can be spun around, tilted, whatever you want. So I am happy with that. Let's just snip this down. That's cool. Really impressed with this thing. I'll just take these branches off and then we'll get down to the bottom of the tree. It's a good tool anyway. I'm impressed. This wasn't expensive. It was actually the cheapest tree shear I could find, pretty much, for this size machine, because I don't do a lot of this type of work. So I thought, well, I'm just going to test the water a bit. Let's get one cheap. It was cheap, but I bought it off a company who have been selling digger buckets and attachments for 20 plus years. So I trust them, rang them up, spoke to the salesman. He told me yes, they are Chinese, but they're decent quality and they haven't had any complaints. So that was good enough for me, just to see how we get on with one, test the water. Like I said, there's a couple of see, now I can tilt it, I can get on these awkward angles. Some of these trees I'm taking out, they're just, they're horrible. They grow in really strange directions. Anyway, it's on, it's working nice, I'm happy, and we'll have a little look after an hour or two, see where we're at. The pipes are obviously very long because they were long enough to plug into the dipper arm of the machine, which now I'm not doing, so I've got a lot of excess pipes, sorry, a lot of excess pipe, which I will address going forwards. Anyway, we'll have a play with this for a bit, and I mentioned earlier in the video that I've made a bit of a mistake with a few things, and I will show you and elaborate on that later on. So if you're watching and you've got a tilt rotator, you can avoid making the same mistake. Right, crack on, and come back in a bit. Right, apologies for the wind, as you can see. We are right on the coast here. Right, so just a quick thing to show you where I've made a mistake. For now, we're plugged in. I'll try and get out of the wind. Plugged in onto the tilt rotator here, as you can see there. So I can spin the tree shear right round. Bit of oil there, I don't know what that's from. Oh no. Anyway, so what I had done previous is I was picking the tree shear up in the hitch like that when I was plugging it in up here. So I couldn't tilt it or rotate. Sorry, I could tilt it and rotate it, but I couldn't spin it all the way around because of the pipes. Well, then what someone told me was, if I use that hammer line and it makes too much pressure for what the tilt rotator can manage, that as I'm sending oil down the hammer line, when the attachment, be it my flail or the tree shear, gets as much oil as it can manage, the rest of the oil, as I'm pressing the pedal, is coming down this line there and into the tilt rotator with nowhere to go, which obviously isn't ideal. So it could have damaged the seals. It hasn't done because I only used it once like that, so it hasn't damaged it, but it could have done. So we're going to move away from doing that, and I've bought fittings now. So I've got the shear plugged in to the tilt rotator, and I've got some fittings for the flail motor to be plugged directly in as well. They seem good, they're dry. So anyway, yeah, there you go. If you're running anything on your tilt rotator and you're going to do what I did, thinking, oh I know, I'll just plug it in on the dipper and pick it up in the tilt rotator, don't do that because you're sending too much pressure down. Get the fittings. I found some for £30 a piece, not too bad. Tema they're called, T-E-M-A, 3/4 inch. You need 2 females. Anyway, it's working well, please. But we'll crack on. Been a bit rough there, but I've actually left the grab on and ripped that tree stump out. It's quite big, that. I've ripped the stump out with the grabber. What I did is I closed it right up to protect the blade, and then I just used it and pulled and spun the thing round until it broke up. And I've got some quite big chunks. You can see some more down there. So it is strong, that thing. It's well built. It was a bit abusive really, to be honest, but it's so steep here and I've no bucket. I don't want to spend any more time on this slope than I have to, so I thought let's try and get it out while I'm here, and it did. And as you can see, it's brilliant as a grab. It'll pick that up. I have rung up the manufacturer today just to get a price for a replacement blade. If I want one, they've got them in stock, just less than £400, so that's not the end of the world. So yeah, I'm impressed. So I'm going to end the video there. We've got a nice day. It's dry. It's not sunny, but it's dry. We're going to get these trees cleared up, and that's going to be it. That's Friday afternoon done. Monday I'll probably do a little video. I'm going to be servicing the digger and the dumper and everything, getting everything right before I go on holiday. And I will try and do a video every week going forwards. I lost my momentum. The weather was terrible. I was busy, I was up against it, and I don't know, I lost momentum anyway. So I'll be back on track now hopefully, and keep getting some more videos. Right, have a good weekend, see you on the next one.